Are we?
Yeah. Are we live? I think we should be live. If you've hit the live button. Yeah, we're live.
Yay! Ooh, I got the chat up here.
Yay! Oh, do you?
That's sweet. Does everyone see the chat on my screen or
No, we
just me?
don't. That's just you.
Oh, that's
That's just
cool.
we just see you floating. We
Brilliant.
just see you, your winged imp.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello, everybody in the chat. Hello, Basket Snake. Hello, Enoch. Hello, Pablo.
Hello.
How you doing today?
I'm alright. I'm a bit tired, but I'm good.
You're a bit sleepy.
Excited.
Yeah, we've been talking about doing this stream for a little while. Was it at the end of the Dave stream we were talking about it? Yeah, we
Yeah,
were talking about it at the end of the Dave stream, which seems like a lifetime ago now.
it does.
Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well. So I was going to say Happy New Year, but we were streaming last week, but we only streamed on Tuesday. We have Pablo here today to talk about doing motion graphics in Dreams. Now, I guess the first question there is, Pablo, what does that mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, motion graphics is just animation, people. It's just animation. But instead of characters, it's usually more about shapes and text. And today I just want to play around with the paint mode and just that's it. I just want to have an excuse to just play around and have a chat.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you've got any questions for Pablo, then
Don't
let me
ask
know.
him.
I can ask. Don't ask him. He's really mean.
Uh,
So yeah, we'll keep going. And then I think Pablo's got a few ideas. Going to show off a few of your creations that you've done in the past with this kind of stuff.
hey Philip,
Look at
some
everyone.
friends are
Hello.
coming. Why is my dream if drifting so much? Oh my god, that never
Put
happened.
that put it down on the.
Yeah, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
You know,
All right.
you know how you do it. You know what you did.
All right, all right, all right.
Right.
Sorry
you
for
good? Are you
spamming
good?
the
Are you compared? You composed?
Tap Giles. Question for Pablo. How? I'll
How?
show you. I'll show you how. Don't worry.
Yay! Cool. Yes, I think we're gonna. Pablo's got some examples. Then we're going to talk a bit about because Pablo worked on the gorgeous ending of Artist Dream. Well, the big climactic moment in Artist
Oh
Dream.
man, thank you.
Which is just.
That was a long time
still,
ago.
Yeah, it was ages ago. Nearly a year ago now. So we'll talk a bit about that at the end as well. So Pablo, I guess, do you want to get started? Do you want to jump into a? You look at him, just little bobbing around.
This one flaps. Yeah. So first of all, I'm gonna. So happy New Year, everyone. Just gonna, I don't know, show some examples. I thought I could play some videos here, but I'm just gonna show the examples I can show here. Maybe later I put on Twitter some experiments that I made on the dev kit. That I will also I will share it because they are cool and I want to brag. But so today I'm gonna show a few examples. Before anything, is the volume okay? Is the sound fine? Am I too low like always? Or is all good?
To me, you sound fine.
Cool.
You know, I think everyone seems to be able
Sweet.
to hear you. It sounds good for you.
That's a first. So I'm gonna show a few examples of something that you could call motion graphics that I've done with Bogdan, with Lisa, and then I'm just gonna ask you to remember Art's Dream, and the first time you play Dreams, you see a sequence, and there is some inky splashes in the screen. I'm gonna recreate those as well. And then I'm gonna show a few, experiments that I've done. That's it. It's not gonna be content packed. It's gonna be chilled because I'm a bit sleepy.
Bit sleepy.
Yeah.
We're gonna chill stream, chill Tuesday night.
Yeah,
Pablo
exactly.
may fall asleep.
I might
If he
put
goes
music.
quiet, then I'll narrate him sleeping.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go on with it. So this is something Bogdan and I prepared. Well, this is Bogdan's Algorave setup. What's Algorave? It's a rave where you do algo stuff. That's what it is.
To us who don't understand how he does it, that's what it means.
It's fine.
It's a rave with algo stuff.
please go check Bogdan's channel on Twitch. He's got
Yeah.
so many jams like this. It's amazing, guys. It's so incredible. So yeah, I got the privilege to make some visuals for one jam that he was preparing for Amaze, which was this festival of indie games last year. We did it online. It was really crazy. I did a flamingo dancing with fire or something, and Bogdan this performed with this setup, beautiful piece. So what I want to show, like the thing I want to show today here is just the visuals, which are here on the This looks so much so complicated. Myself, I am like how do you say? It's a bit scared of all this. Let's get rid of these wires for now. Right. So Bogdan would come in and just play, and then he would like show by the way, this whole stream will have flashing lights and spinning things. I will do my best to not, make too dizzy things, but like things like that, please be warned. It's gonna flash probably. It's gonna spin. If you just have to take a break, just look away, please. I'm gonna get dizzy. I know that, but just take care. It won't be too much. It won't be too much. Don't worry.
It'll send you
Just
to
a
sleep
warning.
if you're already tired.
I
Then it'll
know.
just it'll put you under.
Exactly. So I prepared like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 visuals here. The first one is this kind of wave, which what it actually is, if we just unfreeze it and we go into its element and we activate this studio lighting thing. See, it's just a bunch of lines, radial lines, and they are cloned and cloned over and over. And what's happening is they are animated. Let's see if we can get a better view. Yeah, I just want to change the color of them just to see them better. There we go. So what's happening here, if I stop time for a moment and go back to edit, there are just lines that I drew from the center out, okay? And then with the cloning and so on, I just made them clone like this. But they look like circles. I think this is what I always try to do. Like I have this line, and this line is made of flecks, right? Each circle here, it's a circle of flecks, right? There is flecks here that are off, on, off, on, and so on. That's how you have to think about this. So if I increase the density to see all the flecks, you will see that they go all the way. They also have this pattern because we have the wave effect on. If I don't put that, see? So a nifty trick that I like is to do that, is to have this massive circle or kind of wave built out of these straight lines, which are cloned all over with however method, and then decrease the density. So what we get, if I could decrease a lot, you get those flecks only, right? So if you imagine this is the line. Oh wow. Okay, never mind. I think it's clear what I'm explaining. And then the animation of this is simply a bit of speed here. Okay, so those flecks are traveling. They travel along their line, along the stroke, right? And then a bit of waving, and what that makes is that the flecks kind of see how they become flat. Yeah, I'm following one of them, one line, one circle. They kind of swivel back and forth. You see that? They swivel back, flat, swivel forth, and it creates that kind of wave pattern thing, right? Which, like, this doesn't look very cool, but if then you combine this with a bit of lighting, that's where magic happens, because then I have the metallic properties here. It's 100% metallic and not so shiny. So then we get the light being reflected on those lines, and that's what gives that weird, I don't know, feeling, right? And then on the set, Bogdan would wire the instruments to my different inputs here. I prepared like lots of little animations, and this is just a bunch of keyframes. All of those are keyframes that control that single object, which is this wave, plus the lights, because as I said, the lights are very important. So the lights and the grading then also really matter, right? So if I just play, Sorry.
Hello. Your imp just right up against the screen. I looked away to pick the cat up, and then suddenly the imp's just staring at me. Like, wow, hello.
uh,
Sorry.
no, that's fine.
Go on,
Yeah,
continue.
I love my imp. So yeah, then I have here different properties that you can like wire to the music to make it go boom boom, right?
Make it go boom boom,
Yeah,
which is what Bogdan does.
yeah,
That's
he
where
does
the
that.
teamwork comes in.
He does that very well. See, you can really affect everything here,
That's awesome.
noise and so on. And of course, like this all happens with the music. I'm not gonna go into that now. Just watch Bogdan streams. And also, we could recover the link for the Amaze festival video where this
Oh yes,
concert
of
happens,
course.
because I really recommend it. It's such a beautiful. I think it's like about an hour or maybe less, and it's so
Yeah.
good. Bogdan is amazing. The second visual. So that's just one, you saw it like a few lines and that's it, and that gives you a lot to play with already. The second one was this symbol, which is the symbol of the Algorave movement. It's also frozen. I'm gonna unfreeze, and it's also it's as what you see is what you get. It's just that painted drawing, and then similar to the wave, the flecks are oscillating with the wave effect, or
Hmm.
perhaps they have something else. Yeah, that's the wave, and then I think it has a pulse on. Play around with a few things, but that already like it's just a simple line, right? And you can play a lot with all these parameters to make it look very different. And of course, then lighting. I think lighting is gonna be a word I'm gonna repeat a lot, uh,
Yeah.
because you can see. Let me see if I can find those lights.
We can absolutely transform something, can't it? Like,
Definitely.
it's just such an important part.
Yeah. Just by, animating the lights going around, changing the colors and so on, that gives you so much to play with. And then something that looks very different, right? Well,
Mm.
not very different, but like at least the colors. You don't have to paint those strokes. You can paint with light, which means that you can also animate it, and then it's a bit more dynamic.
Yeah.
What else is here? I think you can do really cool stuff just with the simple strokes, right? Uh, let's see what I prepared here, because I have shuffle presets. If I just wire one of those in there, we're gonna see different effects. And again, this is just that single object with clones, and the lights change, the properties change. And I'm now just cycling through different keyframes that I prepared earlier for this show. So Bogdan could also anytime just call this, and that would change stuff, right?
Yeah.
Then we have a bit of a landscape, which I really enjoy because it was so chill. Let me disable the X-ray. And this is also all strokes. This is just, paintings placed like this, and then paintings like this tree, that rock being emitted. And I mean, everyone knows this trick. The reflection is just everything mirrored down, right? Um, I just it's so peaceful. I just like it. And
Isn't
then
it?
and then this the sea, the surface is very similar to that first wave that I showed you, in that it's a bunch of let me unfreeze everything. Yeah. See if I can get to it. Let's hide everything else. Put on studio mode. It's maybe not this one. Yeah, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about something else that is hidden here. This is gonna be hard to find. I think it's this one here. Or there you go. So I've got these.
Nice.
It's the same wave as before, but just 1/4 or something, and it's made of those lines. They're really thick this time. Okay,
Yeah.
and then you can imagine the sort of effects that I can do with that. Let's see if I can. Oh, sorry for that. Let's see if I can bring some here. Landscape effects. Let's bring this here. So if we just play, um, see that element that I just showed you. That's the same as the wave in the beginning, the same element. And it can cause that kind of reflection thing, which is quite amazing. This reflection that is catching, that's the actual seen sun. It's not this one. That's why it doesn't match. You know, that this one here, that's the actual sun that I made it, more or less in the same place. You could be a bit more fine with that. But yeah, and then this waving effect is all the stroke properties, stroke effects, right? So we've got this one, which makes it wave. If it's 0, I think it also makes it transparent, so it's gone. And the only thing that remains is one huge fleck that is semi-transparent to see through, to see the reflection. This one is like a big wave. And then,
Oh, wow.
you can make it choppy just by changing the impasto, right? I don't know, change color. And then, yeah, I really had fun doing this. I mean, this really works with the music, trust me. And as always, just animating the properties of the flex. See, like that effect, that's like built in. You just have to like animate, keyframe it. Inverse colors, and actually grading is also very important for all this. For visual design, right? I think this one kind of bobs in and out. It's cool. And then Bogdan asked me to draw like a deer or some kind of creature or something.
His over.
And yeah, with that deer, we did the same thing, just changing properties of the flex, which is really fun to do.
So cool, man. Oh.
Wah.
Yes.
I don't know if this is killing the compression on Twitch, because when you have
actually no, it's doing all right.
All right, cool. Because when Bogdan did the concert, some of my visuals were like too much, literally too much.
Oh really?
Yeah. Like too many small particles. That's the nemesis of a compression. And then I did something which I don't like anymore, but it's just like this is the noisy one. This is like overkill. Yeah, like
it's just everything.
Yeah, nope.
Wow.
Maybe small one.
There Twitch goes.
Yeah, no, forget it. This is it's too much.
So good, man.
Yeah, but just to show that you can just do lots with strokes, just with paint.
Yeah.
And because the way it's built with these flecks, you have this animation possibilities, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So that's one example.
Oh man, so good.
You should really see this in action, people. Bogdan does an incredible job, and his music is so good.
I can't remember where you'd be able to find it on the Amaze YouTube channel, I imagine.
Yes, actually, they did upload a new video just with the concert.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we should dig that up, post it on Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll get the link for you.
I released all these elements that you just saw, the deer, the waves. They are all on my released public remixable. Just break it.
Oh, brilliant!
Just for people to, I don't know if they want to use it or it's not that complex, as I showed.
Or just take a deeper look at how it all works.
Yeah. What else? Oh, recently it was Ed's birthday.
It was.
And Lisa told me, dude, let's do something. And
oh man,
Ed made a joystick a dream where you have a joystick, a classic joystick that plays music, and depending on how you move and which buttons you press, the music changes, right? So we made the same idea, but I just made the visuals very different. For this, I will need the controller. So this has music from Lisa. Let's just play it, shall we?
Yeah.
All right. And so on.
So good, man. So good. That's just amazing. I imagine that was a lot of fun to work on.
Lisa does a better performance than me, but there we go. So this is all paint. This is all painting.
That is ridiculous. I've seen someone's. I had a couple of questions. One for another creation, but for this one, people want to know how you've done such perfect circles.
Wow. This no. Okay, that's a staple of motion graphics. We're gonna talk about that definitely.
Nice.
The answer is pain and sweat. I'll show you. I'll show you. What else? Any questions about
there
this?
was a question about any questions about this one? Please do ask. MC Alchemist had a question about another creation in your library, so we'll have a look at that after this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, go show us how to make this perfect circle.
I'm really happy about this display.
That's so good,
just
man.
Bunch of lines, and then each one has a bit of logic saying, "Go nuts!" Like this shows only one of the lines or something, you know, and then you put that together,
Yeah.
and it's cool. And then when you press square, it says "Happy B-Day."
It's so good, man.
I guess everyone got all the things. It's cool.
It looks so clean as well.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, this is so much fun. It's clean, but at the same time, I really want to give a bit of noise like this. Like this one is not perfectly smooth, is it?
Right, yeah.
So it's got a bit of personality. It's not just a very sharp straight line. And I think that's what we have. If you want perfect circles, you are gonna want them like this. Rough.
Yeah,
noisy. But still, it's kind of a perfect circle.
From a more distance, it just looks perfectly clean.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. From here it's fine, but it's pixel size. It still has that noise that I like. That it gives a bit more texture, right? It's like a texture. What else? Oh, Lisa's here.
Lisa's here.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Lisa.
What's up?
How are you today?
I am good. Sorry I'm a little late.
Nice.
But
It's all good.
I heard that you guys were going through this little fun project that Pablo and I were working on.
This crazy, crazy thing. Just amazing.
This was like a 6-hour fever dream project. We were like up till 3 a.m. on SharePlay being like, what if we add this thing and that thing?
The chat says
So
hello, by
fun.
the way, Lisa.
There was so
Hello,
much fun.
chat.
Saying hi, Lisa.
Hello.
Look at this.
Yeah, it's just amazing. It's just brilliant.
How long have you guys been playing it? If I came at the tail end, no worries. You can just
No,
move on.
Pablo gave a performance.
Ooh.
We're just gonna dive into the hows of it all.
The house.
Sweet. Should we start with the? Do you want to start with the music or start with the visuals, Pablo?
Oh yeah, no. While you're here, please do. Please talk about this.
So basically, I think someone mentioned, it was either Abby or Ed mentioned that Ed's birthday was like the next day, and I'd been meaning ever since he started working on those little joystick projects. I've been meaning to do one because I just love the concept of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, did you release a template of it or just a sort of blank version? He was like, yeah, I did. You should try it. And I was like, yes. And your birthday's tomorrow, so I'm going to do one for you. I was like, this is very, we can't exactly like give each other live, real presents these days. So you got to get creative. Analog gifts. So this felt like a good alternative. So anyway, yeah,
Oh no, has she gone? Anyway, yeah, leaves. Lisa, hello. She's gone.
Am I
Oh.
gone?
Oh no, hello Lisa,
You're
you're back
back.
now.
Oh, hello. Yeah, this has been happening with the DualSense. It's like randomly cutting out a
Oh,
bit.
weird.
Well, hopefully it'll stay. If
You're
not, then
back now.
I'll tweet.
We'll just shout if you disappear again.
Okay, cool. So yeah, basically that main microchip is where all of the sort of outputs from the control sensor get split out into different various useful bits. So like you have maybe Pablo, if you quickly turn it into a remote controller, we can see what
No,
parts
because
you're
it's not.
using.
No, it's not share play. Oh, sorry. What do you mean? Ah, sorry. Got it. I
Just
thought
the
you wanted
control
to.
sensor, yeah.
Yeah.
So like when he moves around, oh, you're using the moves. Okay, actually, never
No,
mind.
no,
Sorry.
no. Yeah, it's cool.
So yeah, so when he moves around, you can see that like we're getting all those different things from the just straight from the controller sensor. And Ed had set up this little template, and in the timeline, there's basically the entire track. So all of the different instruments that you hear playing all at the same time, they're being basically turned up and affected and processed and like had effects put on based on what you're doing with the controllers. So yeah, you can see those. Yeah, exactly. You can see those effect fields like lighting up and going dark. And with Bogdan's newest addition to the effect field height, like the timeline height, it's been super helpful for projects like these because you can just have an effect field only affecting a certain amount of instruments in each kind of like direction. So once we decided, because I knew I wanted to use Mlem, of course, because that's the song that has that melody. That's like Ed's like
If it's anything
curse
Ed
that he's
related.
put upon everyone because
Yeah.
we can't get it out of our heads. So I like put down that melody, and then I kind of the rest of the track kind of just like came from that basically, and I knew I wanted to make it like some crazy like drum and bass elements and like breaks and you know, some high intensity things as well as like sort of chill like ambient section when you that you can kind of unlock if you press all the buttons at the same time. But yeah, and then I was like, Pablo, can you make the background like white and black and like just make it super trippy and weird? And
That was such a good
he's
idea.
like, yes, Lisa, I guess so. No, yeah, it was really fun to work together. It was very like inspiring and kind of feeding off of each other's ideas and stuff.
It's amazing work, guys. It's so cool.
Oh yeah, we also we took some outputs from the drums and stuff so that Pablo could like take the note input from the drum instruments and use it to affect. Yeah, so that's one. So whenever that a drum note happens, it flashes on that note, and then he can use it to pulse certain things. Yeah, like keyframes in that animation. And then what else did you do with that, Pablo? Did you do anything else?
Everything kind of glows a bit with the kick. So from here, right, we're driving out the envelope. Sometimes the note, and that's driving the animation. For example, here it's popping up and down when this, yeah, when that instrument plays, which in this case is the kick drum, super kicks, which we don't hear now because I silenced the music just so we can talk. That's what's happening. And then when you activate different things, I think, yeah, that's all really. It's all about keyframes, switching on and off things. The more complex things are that kind of random noise. And then, yeah, that's it really. And then the notes playing here that play the melody, that show the melody, which, sorry if some of you already forgotten, but you can never forget Melem.
No, Melem's
Yeah.
in the brains of any dreamer.
We gotta bring it back every few months just in case people forgot about it.
Yeah, exactly. Because my friend Philip asked me about these. So these notes, I just put them like this on the timeline, and they are emitting every kind of, so each line or each flash is being emitted simply at the time that the same note that note plays. There you go. You can see that, and that's all there is to it.
And now it's in your head.
But in theory, you could make this dynamic. So you could have make some logic. So your music drives like a piano roll kind of thing, visualizer. So that could be something. Yeah, this was so much fun.
Skinny Chad was asking, what's the question on? Does each sound envelope trigger something, or do you have a speaker in the timeline and use that envelope? So I guess is something linked up to everything.
Lisa? I think we lost Lisa again.
She's gone again. So sad.
Yeah.
She did her part. And then she's out. I'm out now. But no, it's incredible work. It's such an amazing feat, everybody.
Really fun.
Well done.
And again, look how much grading can change things. So I'm also keyframing the grading every now and then. You know? And I really like sometimes bring saturation to 0 to have it like fully black and white. But I mean, I'm moving around and you can see those colors. It's because I have keyframed. See that? I have keyframed that and linked it to the left joystick. So when you make when you desaturate, you can take control over the colors of the highlights, the midtones, and the low and the shadows, and you can really make your own thing.
There she is. Hello.
She just kind of purr.
Yeah, she.
That was fun.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, cool. To answer Skinny Chad's question, I think we only used the output from the drums because I think when you take lots of different envelopes, it can be almost a bit too much information. And the drums are very like punchy and quick, transient sounds, so it's easy to get instant feedback from drum sounds. So I think we kind of decided that, oh yeah, the drums and the melody essentially are the only two sounds we're taking the envelope out from to affect various things. Right, Pablo?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
But in theory, you could take the output from anything, and sometimes the envelope gadget can be a little tricky. So if you use a signal manipulator, basically to like boost the amplitude of the envelope, that you can get some useful stuff out of there. Sometimes you need to fiddle with the values, like remap them a bit to get what you need. But in theory, we could have taken it from more things.
Yeah, exactly. No, this is very important actually. It's a good question. You have to map that, especially if you use envelope. The note on is simply a binary, right? But yeah, envelope goes there, and then it even went to another one that we didn't end up using. But yeah, anyway. But yeah, but that goes then to some of the things. Really fun.
Just amazing. Well done, both of you.
Anything else to add, Lisa?
She's gone
again.
Gone again. So sad. So sad. Such a dramatic, like, you never know.
Typical of audio people.
Yeah, God.
You know that, Tom.
There she is.
Why is it always the audio people who have audio problems? It's like cruel fate, really.
Yeah, some horrendous horrendous. Yeah. So good, Pablo. I think people would like to know how you did the circles.
Okay, let's do circles. Oh wow, I knew this would come. This day would come. Okay.
We still need to figure out how to make it remixable. It might mean that we have to take it apart and redo it because there is like a bug with a strange element.
Yeah.
That we couldn't release.
We'll figure it out. Don't worry. So I'm gonna use the rotator technique, guys. There's no mystery in that. It's just, painful to do, but that's what it is. So the rotator technique is make a group out of whatever. If I'm gonna make a circle, I like to have a cylinder. So then we're gonna draw on that surface while it's rotating. That's it. So we're gonna group that, and we're gonna chuck in there a rotator. I think if I put it on this side, it's gonna come aligned. So align the rotation to the how you call this? The longitudinal. You know what I mean? Longitudinal.
Yeah, the long one.
Exactly.
The lol axis. And then just give it a speed that you like. It depends on the size of your brush. I'm gonna put on studio light so we can see what's going on here. And this works much better, if not only, if you have the the controller and a flat surface that you can put it on. So I'm gonna just bring my table closer without spilling all the water. That's very important to make circles, to not spill water anywhere. Okay. So now
everyone's like, right, here we go, here we go, here we go.
I mean, you also have to kind of encourage your imp to not drift a lot while doing this. So okay, we're gonna tweak the speed. I'm gonna leave that open there. And again, like this is nothing new. It's something people have figured out, but it's good to remember. So now we are inside the group. Okay, if I press play, this is gonna rotate, and if I start drawing anywhere, my drawing is gonna do that, right? So it's like the origin of the painting is rotating with our group, inside the group. And if I just stay still, it will describe a circle. Do you like that circle? It's a perfect one.
That is the perfect circle. Wow.
So what we can do, I'm gonna make that whole group a bit bigger, if you allow me. I'm gonna increase the resolution of our cylinders. Okay, so I'm tunneling into the group, and then you can just use the surface paint, surface snap, to to draw in there. So if I just hold it there for a while, and I'm very patient, and then that's how you do a circle. But of course, it's not very. It's quite wobbly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it even smaller. Let's see how much, before I put it on the table, let's see how much smaller I can make it before I lose density. Okay, so that's too small. Then you could decrease the speed, if you want to make it thinner. But I don't want to keep you guys waiting here for a long time. So now I put my controller on the table and I recentered it. Okay, and I'm just trying to position the camera in a way that I'm like somewhere there, like this, and I'm facing edge on. I don't think it's so delicate. I think it's very forgiving, but anyway. So then once I recenter the imp, right? I'm pressing the controller against the table so it doesn't move, but it still moves, so it's very sensitive. So then you press X and then you hold, and you just don't breathe.
Someone tell Pablo a joke quickly. Someone make him laugh.
Yeah. Tickle him.
Yeah.
And you can see.
Yes.
I mean, it's not perfect there because of a bit of drift. So it will take a few attempts. And now, if you make it thin as that, then that means that you can increase the looseness, and it will like not be so jagged, although it is. And you could try things like, okay, let's try maybe another fleck. Let's try the circular fleck. See if that works better. Sometimes that really helps. Sometimes it's not what you want. You can try also stretching the thing. However, this is something I need to talk to Mark Adami and see if we can improve on this. But the fleck itself, when you draw normally, it rotates. You see that maybe it's worth using this straight one. It rotates to face the direction that you're drawing, right? But since here we're not moving, or moving very, very tiny, very little, the fleck tends to rotate without us wanting. And that's what's causing this thing. So if you want a front-facing circle, this is how you do it. If you want a kind of more 3D-ish circle, you can go to the side and do the same technique of pressing against the table and do it there. And that tends to be a bit better because the flecks are following the surface and they don't rotate as much. So these ones are a bit more neat. But I'm talking about, so what I want is really like a 2D motion graphics thing that you look from this angle. So that would not work. Right, that wouldn't work with this one. Although I mean, it could. So that's another way to do it. And this is a secret. I think it's a known secret. if
knows it the way.
if I want to make them way thicker than they are, so because this one has a limit there of 100, right? If I want to make them thicker, I can affect the flex directly if I use the style mode looseness, but with using the volume brush, then I can go crazy, and I will hopefully smooth out yeah. Look at this. This is nice.
I've never
Yeah.
been so tense. Look at that. That's so good.
This gets better if you keep practicing and you stay very, very still and just pray for the imp gods or whatever to not drift. This won't happen. Of course,
Is
like
that really?
Fred's the Dream Queen.
Yeah. Fred's the Dream Queen. Yeah, good one.
it's worth mentioning.
Is that really grating you there, Pablo? That little ski off there. Like, is that really?
I don't mind
Eat
it.
at you.
I don't mind it.
There's a bit of noise.
Greeting is some nice British slang that Pablo might not have been aware of.
It's like eating me alive or something.
Yeah. There you go.
In Scotland, it means
I don't
crying,
mind.
right?
Does it?
Yeah, like greeting. Does that mean you're crying? Someone in the chat, please confirm.
I did not know this. We'll find out. I'm sure the chat will know.
Yeah. So
Yes, it does.
Yes. This is
There
like
we
one of
go.
my takeaways from living in Edinburgh for a year.
Another way of
Ooh,
making
then.
circles, if you don't want to animate them, because the reason I do them this way is, yeah, I Wilet Better 10, yeah, they are talking about what I'm gonna do now, but if you do it this way, you cannot animate them. Because, okay, so the other method, if you don't care about animation, is you stamp one fleck. I'm gonna make it thin so we have nice density. And then I'm gonna grab that fleck and clone it on the grid. I go one up, one to the right, and then I twist 90 degrees, and then I start adding clones. It's very hard to do on the motion controllers. Then I start adding clones. I think I'm not quite. Let me try again with the controller. So I go to that corner, rotate twice there, and then I add clones, as many as I want.
This is so cool.
And then I delete I'm gonna delete the last one there because we're gonna copy that and put it there, and then rotate again twice, and then just add 2 more clones, and I have these 4 that I can merge. So that's the most perfect circle. Okay.
Oh my god, why did we even bother with the other one? I'm just kidding.
Because you cannot animate it. This one doesn't respond. So let's just compare. Yeah, exactly. Let's just compare. Oh, the chat is blocking my view. Okay.
That's so rude.
Yeah, sorry. No, don't mind.
How inconsiderate.
It's fine.
Chat, come on now.
Let's just compare both techniques, right? On the left is the wonky, but lovely.
Possible.
And on the right is the clone flex. So this one is one single stroke. If I imagine that in the code, it would be like stroke something like one line. So Dreams knows that it starts here and it ends there. It knows that it's a stroke. The other one is just a bunch of flex, which is really cool. Like for motion graphics, for example, like you want that arc, you want this dot arc, or even do this. It's really, really cool. This is something that you want to do. You also want to use, but it doesn't respond to any of those animation pulse. That just doesn't work on this one,
Right.
And this one you can have all these cool animations. So it really depends on what you need, It really depends on what you need. In what we've seen before, I have both techniques. Some circles I don't want them to do anything like this, and some I do. So I just combine them. It's really up to you. This does respond to flow, which is really cool though. So fair enough. It still animates somewhat, but it doesn't respond to. I'll be damned. Oh, I forgot about this. Okay, this is quite nifty secret. If you have animate in
Kill that other
sequence.
circle.
No, it's still nice. If you have animate
Just kidding.
in sequence, these sliders, the start and end point, they will respect the drawing order. So this is so really cool to redraw anything that you draw with several strokes. So I think you know what I mean. I'm gonna do a quick. So if you imagine you write something on the same object, right? The same painting. Hello. And then you want to animate that in the same way you have drawn it. By default, it's gonna do that, or perhaps it's gonna do this. And what you want is you want to switch on animate in sequence, which is simply gonna animate those strokes in the sequence that you drew them, right? So then you can forget about all this, just switch that on here, no animation here, and then you can take control and animate yourself on a timeline, animate this in any way you want. So that's quite nifty. That's very useful. So the same has been
That's such a
happening.
cool pro tip.
So the same actually
Yeah.
help us here, which I didn't know. That's a surprise. That's amazing. Okay, so not everything is lost. I mean, it just allows you to do that kind of animation, nothing else. This technique, where it's a continuous stroke, it's much more powerful to do animation. Whereas people, I mean, okay, I'm no expert, so I'm sure in the chat you have people saying, oh, this is nothing. You have to do it this way. What's people saying?
Everyone's just amazed, basically.
Really?
Everywhere the same. People, you can also do the cloning technique by using a text box as a stencil to get more accurate painted words.
Yeah, but I want that effect. You know, when I'm animating circles, I normally want this kind of effect.
Pablo wants to be challenged. He wants to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
Someone
yeah,
fight me.
this has to be fun, right? This has to be fun, and also so you could have this sort of effect as well. What I did there is reduce, so make clones, but not have them spread or anything. Although you also could. It's quite cool. One of the videos I'll show you later. I'll show you on Twitter. It's something like that. So I'm having clones, okay, and then I'm using the offset because this is without offset. They are just following the pulse. But if you offset them, they kind of populate that circle, which is very cool. So this is also another technique you can use for motion graphics. And then that also responds to these controls. In this case, this doesn't make much sense, but I'm going to show you a case where the fleck density is so cool. It becomes a bit crazy. Everyone happy with my circles?
I think so. Dice Man asks what happens if you combine both paints together and animate.
Oh, same thing. Oh, that's a very good strategy because now they're combined, but this it's still Dream still thinks it still knows that it's individual flex. But let's just see what happens. I'm learning, so yeah, I think it's the same. So this won't be affected. I think in the future we might do something about this. I'm not sure. Yeah, but like the best thing you can do is try to draw your circle and then save it as an element and just use that one always. I haven't done that yet, but I need to do it because every time it's like, oh, I wish I had. And I looked on the Dreamiverse. I thought like maybe by now somebody would have made, you know, a scene full of 2D shapes. If someone wants to do it, I'd
It have to be
so
you,
happy.
Pablo.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah, take it on.
If you want something done, do it
Here's some
yourself.
homework.
Do it yourself.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
somebody's already
Can't
done
do
it
it myself.
for themselves because it's quite a common problem. But yeah, so remember this technique,
Hint, hint.
you can override the tweak menu thickness. See, that already looks a bit more motion graphic-y, right?
Yeah.
Good. Who laughs now about my circle?
Well,
Where is it? Ah, it's this one here. And so we don't have much time left, 10 minutes, but I wanted to. Okay. Enough circles. Let me show you this that I did yesterday or something.
What a pole paint test. This seems very you.
It's so you.
Yeah. Wow. Dude. Wait, that's cool. That's so good.
I got a bit dizzy while making this because you know it's a lot of time.
I
Just
can imagine.
yeah. So what's happening here is, yep, you guessed it, lines, concentric lines.
Lines.
Is this what a wormhole actually looks like in real life, Pablo?
We have never seen one, so yes.
Wow.
Pablo's our
Yes,
resident
there we
space
go. He's found-
expert, so.
I thought you said we'd never seen one, but we've just seen one, Pablo. So
Exactly.
Exactly. So what this is a bunch of, you know, this same object. It's the same object duplicated over and over, and then each kind of layer has a different. If you get dizzy again, just look away, please, because it's quite. I could actually slow down. Hold on, I'm just gonna slow down the animation. Okay, and then so all the strokes are bending downwards using this gravity thing, which actually I could show you that. I could show that because that's quite something I discovered. Well, didn't discover. I learned. Most of you probably know that already. But if you have a line of strokes, of flex or stroke, and there's two ways of applying gravity. With the physical toggle on, that bends it nicely. However, if I apply it to all of that, for example, now, if I make that physical and add gravity, a hole opens in there. I think you could get away with using force appliers to kind of bring them together in the center and so on. But I found out that, you know, just using the gravity slider without the physical was enough for what I wanted to do. The big difference, and there's a pause for suspend, the big difference is without the physical toggle, the flex fall down in a stepped way. You can see them aligned to the ground. You can see them aligned like this. They are stepped. And if you make the gravity stronger, this is not being physical, so they won't wobble or anything, but you can still use gravity. They are being, like this, which is not ideal, but in this case, I don't need anything else, so it's fine. And when they are physical, they don't do that. They nicely follow the curve, okay? So that's a big difference. Here they are like laid on top of each other, and without, they are stepped like that. So that's something to take into consideration, because when you are animating, for example, the flow and so on, flow in these animations, they are aligned with those flecks, so they will follow that fleck direction, which might be what you want. It was what I wanted here, so it's not bad. It's just you have to consider that, right? And then here, I don't know what else I did here. Just layer and layer and layer. I think these faint ones, yeah, they are moving very fast. And then I think the star of this project was grading, because without grading, it was a bit dull. The grading was, gave it that oomph.
Ooh, yeah.
And you can even,
Nice.
as I showed before, I really like black and white graphics like that. It's really cool.
Yeah,
but then again,
it
like
looks so cool.
on the joystick, you can then tint just the parts that you want and give it another grading.
You did
yeah.
this a lot with the little joystick toy as well.
Yes.
Like changing the grading based on what kind of figures we were
Exactly.
giving it.
It really matters. Just playing around with all that. And I always like to reduce lens flare. It's a bit distracting, and it has always color. But bloom, go crazy. I think it's cool. Also,
Yeah.
I did give it a camera movement blur. Too much, and it becomes something else. But just a bit, it smoothens especially those flickering lines that I made, the smooth ones. It's smoothen them. Yeah, it makes them smoother.
We got you.
But yeah, that's something I did, just testing like, what can I do with just one single element, and that's the element. And then of course, those particles floating around, they are different things, but it's the same principle. Like the falling lines, they are that kind of thing.
Oh, that is
Oh,
awesome.
that kind of looks cool, right?
Yeah, that looks really cool.
And also, I think, yeah, it's worth mentioning there is also I'm gonna switch on Studio Light. There is this object kind of acting as the surface, right? Which is also flex, but it's the same element, deformed by gravity. You can see that it only goes down like that. Very thick, a bit transparent, very dense, lots of clones, but it's kind of black. It doesn't have light. But then if you cast a bit of lights on top of it, I love how Dreams works in this way. When you throw light on paint, it's really nice, and you can get really nice effects. I think if we have time, I could try to replicate the ink splashes that you see in Dreams intro.
Yeah, go for it.
I could
Oh my
just use the
gosh,
same
that is
thing.
cool.
Yeah, and this is just light on those flecks, right? So that gives you a lot of flexibility, and it's quite interesting. And again, motion graphics, you're gonna want to create. Okay. So just very briefly, in Art's Dream, in the end sequence when you have black and white graphics, I simply, I think I cranked up the contrast and so on, and I used the grading, and I used a big white background for everything. I think, if not, yes, the sky was black because else it would cast light like that. So the sky was black, but the white background was done with a white background. And all the objects were pitch black, and that made that nice contrast. And then, well, if you see it again, you kind of recognize what's happening there. I just chucked in on each shot. I reused props that I had from somewhere else, or I made new ones, and each shot is its own story, right? Yeah, but I think the key on the Art's Dream ending, it was like I was designing with John Eckersley, and it was an amazing project to do together. And Karim also, like, it was like, all hands on deck.
Yeah, such a great collaborative effort.
And helping me a lot to get it to what it is. Actually, I would love to do a stream with John
Yeah, I think
Eckersley
it's one of
about
those.
that.
So for those watching, we had an art stream, like not making of, but like a look behind the scenes, especially of the band scene in the works. But because of working from home, we actually had to put it on the back burner because we need to be in the studio to show it, to have the right people.
Yeah.
So when we are able to have John with us and Kareem with us and Pablo with us, we'll be sat on the sofa and we'll do a look at the band scene at least, so you'll see all those effects that Pablo's on about and how John worked, how they all work together, because it would be such an interesting one. We need more time, more people, more flexibility in what we're able to do. But we will definitely do it as soon as possible. We will have that to you.
That's great. And now
That's awesome.
Can't wait.
Before finishing, I'm just gonna recreate that kind of silky effects that we did at the beginning of when you first run Dreams. You have the intro. You have shapes, color. I think when you have the color one, you have like a.
I wish you'd narrated it, Pablo.
Shapes, color.
Wow.
We can do a remix.
Pablo is Dream Queen confirmed.
So the way I did those splashes, it's using loads and loads and loads of this thing of paint.
Ooh.
Lots of them. Because when you layer them together, I did do a good job. Maybe if I lift it up a bit. I didn't do a good job drawing it because it's just quick. But you saw me there drawing a bunch of flecks bunch of unique flecks, okay? And then I'm just cloning them for volume. And then we're gonna chuck some light, shine some light onto them. And you're gonna see what I mean in a moment. Ooh, we're still with black and white grading.
That's cool though. That's awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go with it. Let's go with the flow. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to achieve the same thing, but basically I had lots of layered strokes. They were, you know, semi-transparent, something like 20 or 15%. They were almost in the middle, maybe 15. So it was waxy, but just, you know, not so much. And I think just a bit shiny. I'm gonna turn off the grading, I think. Just so we can see a bit better what's happening. There we go. And one thing I want to do, I'm gonna bring the fog as far as possible. Okay. And bring our prop here. So
it looks, even that just
those
looks incredible.
splashes
Yeah.
were something like that. And then I put so many lights around, like short, wide lights everywhere. And that's how I kind of sculpted those paintings, kind of from behind like this, like from the like a backlight, right? And then of course they are being animated like this, and I think they don't have the loop because they only happen once. But that should be enough to give you an idea of what's happening there. In Pasto Maximum, I think I played around with different flecks, even mixed some flecks. I think the circle one is quite nice. I quite like the circle one. A bit more graphical.
Can you try that with the black and white grading, Pablo?
Yeah, let's do that. It's cool, actually. I'm gonna bring another one to start from scratch.
So cool.
It's almost like a bubbling cauldron or something. Like
Yeah,
right.
well,
it's awesome.
I didn't draw it very well, but the original thing, yeah, it's not very well painted there, but it looked like a mushroom cloud almost.
Mm-hmm.
And then by animating this, it would shoot in a straight line, and then start curving around like that. And then I would
I
like,
remember when Pablo like presented these studio, we were
oh
all
yeah,
just standing there like, oh my god, mind blown.
That was really fun. So lucky that at the MEM they let you play. They tell you, there, go play and see what to come up with. So it was something like that, and then
Incredible.
we had like different colors. So I mean, I'm gonna use the power of grading. I'm gonna make this one darker and this one brighter. Whoa, no, maybe not low. And then just change the colors here.
I love how everyone reacts the same to glow. Like, whoa, okay, glow.
Yeah, go!
Glow! Yeah, no, perhaps this is not as yeah, I think this is what I did. I tinted them. Oh, also very important, you can also tint the flecks independently. You can't see anything now. Hold on. Okay. Let me just draw a line.
When the lights come on at the club.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same feeling. Using the tint with the volume brush. So volume brush and flecks, they tend to, I don't know if it's everywhere, but they tend to affect individual flecks. So now you can just color and gradient like this. And that's quite interesting. And then when you animate, the color kind of shifts through. So you can do, I don't know, I was like doing things like comets and stuff like that. and of course it was quite effective. If you do pulse, with the pulse, the color will not offset or move through.
Oh, that's cool.
But so doing this technique with the paintbrush, with the tint and volume brush, I was then able to tint those ink splotches that we call them, splotches or something. Hold on, look at that, a bit more waxy. It already makes a difference. Yeah, this is the kind of silky. It's getting there. It's something like that. I think I lost my touch now.
I want a pillow like that.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah,
this
right.
is still paint. This is still paint. And in Art's Dream, you have like a splash in this end sequence. You have like a splash of black ink behind Art's silhouette, and that's done exactly by using this technique. And again, like you have
Awesome.
to animate this. Okay, like coming in, you fade it in and out. Can come in like that. Yeah, and then go. Anyway, there's so much stuff there. You can add a bit of wave effects for turbulence and so on. And it's also really fun to play with the.
Oh yeah.
So good.
It's really cool. And
Look at it go.
one last tip that I see that people struggle with. Promise the last one, and then you can all go home. When you make many clones, like a puffy ball of clones, like this, okay, and you make that physical, they are all kind of weird. You don't expect that movement, and it's because they are all clones. They're all following, excuse me, the same physics as the single stroke.
Yeah, it looks
So-
almost symmetrical, like the way they
So-
were moving.
This movement makes sense from a physical point of view. When you clone that, they'll just copy it, but because they are oriented differently, it looks weird. So what you have to do, if you have the thermo, is select that, and you merge paintings, and now you have a flat ball.
Oh yeah.
That's how you do it.
Oh my gosh.
So good.
So fun. It's so satisfying. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's kind of creepy as well.
And then you can clone that, and you can clone that
Don't we
even.
have toys like that?
Oh, you cannot.
Like the
Yeah,
those-
you did,
those-
didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Those like kind of weird plasticky like rainbow toys that look like that.
Yeah.
There. That's the limit of the amount of clone. I reached the limit. Okay, I think. Oh, that's a pity.
No, it's so good.
Oh, because I have so many down there. But yeah, those are. I don't know what this was, like motion graphics or just
Pablo's brain.
having fun with paint.
So
But yeah.
good. Thank you so much, Pablo.
Lighting, very important. Remember that. I love this, how it mixes there. I'll leave it there.
It's so good. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Cheers, it's really fun.
Thank you guys for doing this. Thank you, Lisa, for dropping in.
Thanks for having me. That was fun.
It was awesome. We shall be back on Thursday with our first community creation stream of the year. We've got a few weeks to catch up on.
Nice.
In the meantime, everyone stay safe, stay well. We're going to raid Kel, so we're going to send you all over to Kel Biones because he's great. So I'm going to get that set up now. In the meantime, we'll chat to you. I've already said that. We'll chat to you on Thursday. Bye, everybody.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Cool. That was so good, man.
Oh, nice. That was so fun.
That was